Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Do you guys understand that it's only Tuesday of reInvent? It does feel like it's Friday, but we're still working, so here we go. Welcome to our session. Very excited to have a conversation with you. Thanking you guys for your valuable time. I'm Akanksha Balani, and I run the go-to-market team for Team Amazon at Intel. Today's session is really going to be about how you guys, as customers, as industry leaders, as people that are thinking about OpEx, CapEx, and TCO, as CIOs, CTOs, developer leaders, how do you make sure that you accelerate your environment and your business practices with the goodness of cloud? While AWS has been driving massive amounts of workload optimizations, one of the biggest workloads that we have started to see as Team Intel, as we work with AWS, is SAP. So how many of you guys, quick show of hands, how many of you guys have SAP-powered workloads today? Yeah, that's like about 85% of the audience on a normal day. So the session today hopefully will help you go back with how you can think about, while you're migrating your SAP workloads to AWS, why it's important for you to understand why performance and optimization matters. I'm also excited to have along with me Neil Reddy as well as Ashish, who are going to basically talk and demonstrate their experiences from a perspective of AWS as well as Toyota Motors, how they went through the journey of migrating their workloads on SAP workloads on AWS. Before I get kicked off, I'd like the fearless leaders between Intel and AWS to actually represent what I'm actually going to be talking about. So let's do a quick view of this video.
AWS has a long-standing relationship with Intel, actually dating back to the launch of Amazon EC2 all the way in 2006.
Intel relationship with AWS spanned more than 18 years and continue to grow. Our collaboration runs deep.
Today, I'm excited to talk about our most recent launch, AWS 8th generation Intel-based instances.
Our latest Xeon 6 with P-Core technology delivers reliability and performance to cloud providers like AWS and their customers.
The new Intel instances offer up to 20% performance improvement over previous generation Intel-based instances across diverse workloads. For real-world applications, we believe the performance gains will be even higher.
This isn't just about migrating existing workloads to the cloud. It is about unlocking new possibilities through nimble and data-driven development pipelines.
With the 8th generation Intel instances, AWS is adding support for Instance Bandwidth Configuration, or IBC, a new feature that we launched last year with our 8th generation Graviton instances. IBC will give x86 customers the flexibility to optimize their network and storage performance based on their specific workload needs. Our 8th generation custom Intel Xeon 6 processor CM&R instances offer new flex variants that have been designed for customers whose workloads have variable compute patterns. They offer a cost-effective alternative to standard instances and provide the easiest way for customers to achieve price-performance benefits.
The future of cloud computing will require even more powerful, flexible, and efficient solutions. And Intel is proud to be driving that transformation alongside AWS.
We're excited to see how our customers will use them to drive their businesses forward.
So very well represented by both of our fearless leaders between Intel and AWS about what the power of this partnership really looks like. But I'd like to take a quick step back for you guys wondering, what is Intel doing on stage? They help power Intel inside your devices and your laptops. What are we doing with AWS? What's the journey been like? And how does this partnership value drive benefit to you guys? So I really wanted to take a quick step back. As you guys know, we're chip manufacturers. We build silicon. We have silicon in every kind of infrastructure that you guys want to leverage. But really what it is with Team AWS within Intel, we kind of do two very big things. The first is collaborating with EC2 to make sure that we're building the best-in-class experience for you guys in terms of our silicon-based instances under the hood of everything EC2. So close to about 85% of most of everything that you're running on AWS EC2 is powered by Intel instances. This relationship has been around since inception of AWS, so over 18 plus years. And now with the launch of this exciting 8th-gen instances on EC2, we've got custom and differentiated experiences for you that we work and collaborate very tightly with AWS. So while we have this conversation and this partnership on an engineer-to-engineer level between Intel and AWS, we want to make sure that our partnerships with you guys, because you guys are all our customers as well as partners too. You've been with us since close to 40, 50 years, inception of Intel. How do we make sure that we work with you to get you 3 things that Intel brings to AWS's workloads and AWS's experience for you? Number 1, performance. Number 2, performance. Number 3, any guesses? Thank you. You're listening and attentive. I love that. Absolutely. So the power of compute and the goodness of the performance we drive with our silicon, make sure that it helps you perform better as you migrate and accelerate your workloads to AWS. And then our collaboration on the go-to-market side with the go-to-market teams at AWS is to make sure you get the best experience, you get the fastest experience, and you get the most cost-effective experience. So while we've collaborated with AWS across all of the various workloads, what we do want to say is that the focus for Team AWS, and that's why reInvent is our Super Bowl. We're very excited to see how you guys are actually working and collaborating with us, along with our partners in AWS, as we build infrastructure with AWS, as we market this along with AWS's instances, as well as the new services that they launch on a daily basis, especially at reInvent. It's exciting. All the news and announcements from Garmin have been amazing. Also excited to have 2 instances extra on 8th-gen instances launched today, so very excited about that. But as we build and market, we want to make sure that from a sales perspective, we're enabling our favorite customers, our favorite partners, so that we get you that tri-party experience, so you know when you're migrating your journeys to the cloud, especially on AWS, you've got 2 parties and the power of partnership coming through for you. And just to demonstrate the plethora of the different instances, there will be a quiz later, so please pay attention. Just kidding. But you could take a picture if you like. But this literally tells you the journey. We've got 8 generations of instances that we have launched with AWS. Close to 450+ instances out of the 800 instances on EC2 today are powered by Intel. And you could see how deeply we've engaged with the EC2 team to make sure that you're getting a cloud, a compute-optimized experience, a memory-optimized experience, a storage-optimized experience. And as we iterate year on year, product by product line with AWS, we're going to make sure that the core count, the frequency, and the custom collaboration with AWS really helps you accelerate your workloads on AWS without having to think about optimizing. And this is really the journey of what our leaders were talking about in the video. It's been a rolling thunder and an exciting collaboration and partnership, and I'm really hoping that you guys start to get your hands wet with all of these instances that we've launched. There's a special one that I'm going to talk about, so stealing the thunder of my next slide, but specifically for SAP, because we not only have our partnership with AWS, but we also have an amazing partnership, I think close to 40 years with SAP, where SAP's platforms, hardware, has all been pre-optimized for Intel's hardware and SAP software. So bringing that party of information as well as partnership to make sure that we are helping you as you go to your RISE journey or HANA journey or BTP journey or Joule journey, we're there to make sure that the TCO and the optimization under the hood is best in class for you. And this is really represented with the different kinds of innovations we've done with our instances with AWS. So keep watching this space. The 8th-gen instances is possibly, in the history of AWS, the fastest ramping instance. And we're hoping to have close to 26 regions available with the 8-gen instances no later than Q1 of next year. So it's going to be exciting. And as I mentioned earlier, we also want to talk to you about how, by workload, we do iterate our instances to make sure that it helps get you the environment that you need as you migrate from on-prem or alternative clouds to AWS. And with that theory, as well as thought process in mind, and a collaboration between Intel, AWS, and SAP, we have the U7i instance. It's possibly the densest instance that you have in cloud. It's only available on AWS, and it really has 32 terabyte of memory, storage, and the U7i and H are local disk spaces, which we've done collaboration with the HPE team to make sure that we're getting you the best experience as well as a seamless experience as you migrate your workloads from on-prem or your heavy mainframe legacy platforms to AWS. So with that, I just wanted to set the stage, make sure that you guys understand what we're trying to say here and what the value of our conversation is going to be for you. And to kick that off into second year, we're going to invite Neil Reddy, who is the Principal Technical Account Manager at AWS.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's having a great reInvent so far. Quick raise of hands. How many of you are an enterprise support customer or know what a TAM is? 1, 2, maybe a few more. Okay. So I'm a Principal TAM. I've been with the AWS for Automotive group. We're enterprise support for about 3.5 years. I'm really happy to share the Toyota story with you all. As Akansha has called it, it's the big, beautiful win. Those are not my words. Those are her words. I like that, though. We internally have been calling this the miracle migration. And you'll see why when Ashish presents. But I get the real exciting privilege to support Toyota within the AWS for automotive space. The way that we're structured is we have deep support integration with our verticals. So within strategic industries of enterprise support, we have automotive and manufacturing, which is where that SAP ERP sits. It's a very strategic type of a workload. We also have financial services, media, entertainment, healthcare, that kind of thing. And if anyone has questions about their enterprise support, feel free to ping me after the session. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to is how we enable Toyota to move very quickly in this journey. When you run a U7i workload with SAP, you have some very important performance metrics that you need to meet for your end users. SAP and AWS and Intel together, we allow for customers like Toyota to migrate and modernize very rapidly. If you think about all the infrastructure that it requires to put a server like that together, if you saw Akansha's slide on U7i, 24, 32 terabytes, these are massive environments, huge boxes that require a lot of power, a lot of environmentals, not even to mention the resilience and some of the DR and business continuity that goes in to building an infrastructure like that. So we allow for our customers to innovate very quickly in this area. We're going to share more about that journey. But U7i is built for SAP. It's high memory, so it can accommodate what the HANA database needs to do in order to fulfill those application requirements. R8i is also SAP certified. The focus of this journey is mostly on U7i. We'll talk a little bit about R8i and how Toyota plans to leverage that in the future. Performance is a key pillar. It's also part of the well-architected framework, so we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Agility, resilience, procurement. These are all areas that AWS enables our customers to very rapidly procure this kind of environment and get it into the hands of the end users. What SAP needs? 4 very critical areas here. Number 1, scalability. As you'll hear later, Toyota is growing. They're in the news. They have a lot going on in terms of manufacturing. So Ashish has the fine responsibility of supporting one very, very important and very, very critical system. As the TAM for Toyota, I take that responsibility very seriously. And so we go through those well-architected pillars on a frequent basis: operational excellence, performance, as you see here, the reliability pillar. So you see some integration with how Intel and how SAP, Toyota, we're all working together to deliver this. What SAP needs, R8i delivers. You could put U7i, U7in in that as well. Scalability, so the specific on the R8i, you can see some of those speeds and feeds around the CPU count. When we're talking about the U series, which is actually now in its 2nd generation, so U7i is a 2nd generation environment. Compared to the 1st generation, it doubled in CPU count. That's a big deal. So it went from 448 cores, vCPUs, to double that. It's a big number. And it made a huge difference, not only to the end users, but to Ashish and his team. So when it comes to supporting enterprise support, critical workloads, there's a couple key areas. Number 1, we keep the customer focused on operational excellence, reliability, performance. What should we be doing that we're not doing? DR testing, business continuity. These are all areas that your technical account manager can help enable you as an enterprise support customer. There's also an SAP lens. So within this Toyota journey, we've gone through multiple iterations because it's a continual journey of the SAP lens and what are those elements that we should continually follow to keep the environment healthy and happy. So we talked about some of the pillars. Reliability is one key area. I'm just going to pick, there's multiple challenges that you all might be facing within your infrastructure right now. I'm going to pick one because it's relevant to the Toyota journey, this first one. So limited capabilities in SAP resilience due to manual process, configuration, inconsistencies, and skill gaps. How does AWS support and enable this challenge? In the middle, our solution is we review those high availability and DR architectures on a regular basis, which fulfills audit and regulatory types of compliance. And as an outcome, the second one down, we enhance that audit compliance, and we help Toyota achieve those HA and DR goals. Operational excellence, on a similar front, and those two pillars collide quite a bit if you are versed in the well-architected framework. Another challenge that we've seen at Toyota, and you may have, is the complexity and the configuration drift that ultimately can impair your performance and have an impact on your incident response. As a solution, the first one, Systems Manager for SAP Configuration Manager. We'll sit with Toyota, we'll do a best practices check. Again, a continual effort, not a one-time shot, but an effort that is continual, just like a regular audit. And as an outcome there, we'll have a consistent SAP configuration. Who agrees that your configurations across your environments should be consistent in order to maintain performance? So it's a multifaceted approach. It's not just put it on the best hardware available. It's a very well-rounded approach here And last but not least, a common theme throughout this whole journey is performance. So I'm really excited to share what that migration journey looked like for Ashish and his team. You'll hear a little bit of why we call it the big, beautiful migration, a big, beautiful win. It was quite an undertaking by Ashish and his team. And I'll leave you with one last note. One of his teammates quoted that U7i unshackled his environment and his life. And when you hear about the amount of work that went into maintaining their system before the upgrade compared to life after the upgrade, it's a pretty compelling story. So without further ado, I'll welcome Ashish up on stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil. Good afternoon, everyone. So who are we? Who is TMNA? Basically, TMNA oversees the Toyota's manufacturing, sales, and R&D for North American region. So under us, the platform we support, I support, and my team supports, it actually supports 13 manufacturing units, plus unit plants, and plus our corporate functions. We run blend of SAP applications. Some of them are on-premise, like running out of AWS, and we also use SaaS applications like SAP Ariba, SAC. Now we are actually leveraging a lot of SAP BTP suite services like Integration Suite, some of the DataSphere, and things like that. But we are still running a blend of on-premise and SaaS applications. All right. Let's talk through the journey, okay? What Neil mentioned about in past, that how we started our AWS journey. Even before starting AWS journey, we were running on-premise. So we started a greenfield implementation of SAP back in 2016. So you can see from 2016 to 2019, there is no timeline over here, but we actually started planning. Then we incorporated small corporate functions like the finance, procurement, and invoicing, and things like that. So first manufacturing template that we went live was in 2019, April 1st, 2019, actually. April's Fool's Day. So, launching SAP on manufacturing plant on Fool's Day, it's like a kind of uneasy experience because we ran into a lot of challenges. Adopting SAP into manufacturing and learning new systems and things like that, you can see that there are lots of ups and downs. So from 2019, you can see the graph that throughout the next 4 years, we have a lot of go-lives or a lot of conversions stack on top of each other. So the way we were working to achieve making sure that the manufacturing is not impacted, our rollouts are seamless without any issues. And on top of that, we had a 6 months of COVID period and things like that. So everybody started working remote, but our timeline never changed. We still achieved our timelines. So those are the rollout plan for the conversions of SAP at our 13 manufacturing units. On top of that, when we are doing the conversions, we have to make sure that we are actually converting or keeping our SAP up to date. So we plan for multiple major releases. So you can see in 2019, we went from 1610 to 1709. In 2021, we upgraded our S4 from 1709 to 2020. And we did a lot of different upgrades in between. I think the one upgrade that we forgot to mention, it was the BW4 upgrade as well. So we actually planned along with while we are actually converting the NAMCs, rolling out the SAP throughout the 13 manufacturing plants. But after we went live with the first manufacturing plant, we realized quickly that our platform is not scalable fast enough to adopt the growth that has brought by the manufacturing units. So on this slide, you can see that our growth tremendously grew from 1 terabyte to 3 terabyte to 6 terabyte. So from 2019 to 2020, within 1 year, we were up multiple times. And every time we needed a hardware, we have to issue a procurement, things like that, and it would take a lengthy process. The hardwares are not available. Meantime, during COVID, the chips were short. So we weren't able to procure the hardware. And that's when our cloud journey started. So in 2020, when we were actually going through the cloud transformation, we never paused our migration effort for the SAP conversions to different manufacturing plant. On top of that, when we started, we actually planned for 6 terabyte instance, but when we actually went live in 2021 with AWS, we went live with 12 terabyte production instance. So you can see within 6 months, we doubled our hardware capacity, and they were able to provide us, instead of 6 terabyte, to 12 terabyte instance. And right now, in 2025, 2024, we went to 24 terabyte. So problem one was solved. One was the scalability issue was there, the high memory instance, that is solved. We were able to deploy faster. The environment was resilient, but there was one more issue. The first generation U series hardware had a capacity limitation on CPUs. CPU was only 448 cores. So you can see on our journey in 2022, in 2022, we reported 11 outages in our production system. So when the production system goes down, it impacts our manufacturing units. When it impacts our manufacturing units, it actually costs us money. So if it's unstable environment, we cannot manufacture efficiently. And if the efficiency is not there, we are losing money. So what we did, we actually worked with our AWS TAMs and provided a feedback that we need a better instances with more CPUs, because memory we are able to scale, but not CPU. So they heard us, they took our feedback, and they provided us with a preview of U7i in February of 2024. So when we signed up for a preview, we saw the benefit of that U7i instance. It has 896 cores, double the core capacity of current generation. Second thing is we were in midst of running S4 2023 upgrade from 2020. So we wanted to run using a ZDO option. If anybody is familiar with ZDO options on SAP. So it's a zero downtime upgrade. So basically, you can run your pre-upgrade steps and everything in your production system, and during a small outage, you can just restart your system and you will be on the upgraded system. So we run that on this system, and we gain efficiency of more than 30%, because we run a pre-upgrade on older generation, which took us much longer than when we ran on U7i, it was much faster. So before we actually did the in production, when we went for production change for U7i, so we created a business case during our preview sessions from February through April. We were part of the preview. Then when they launched the U7i instance, we were able to acquire or migrate our workloads from U6 bare metal to U7i within 10 days. From signing a dotted line to get those allocated in our accounts and migrate our production workload to the new instances within 10 days actually. So that was quite an accomplishment, and it was from AWS EC2 engineering team, our TAMs, our enterprise support, everybody came together, they understood. And the reason we needed that in a crunch time was we were starting our production upgrade, and we wanted to make sure that our business is not impacted while we are running a upgrade in shadow. And we are able to achieve that without any downtime, without any system unavailability, and also not impacting any efficiencies. So the performance is there, and I can gladly say that there was another use case. So before, on older generation, when there is a month, we have a financial book close, and there is a huge process which actually does the labor and overhead calculation. There are multiple batch jobs, multiple teams, and they are all part of that. They have to make sure that everything is ran according to the sequence, and that whole process end to end takes close to 3 days on the older generation, with certain parameters in place. So we actually lessen or reduce the CPU count by implementing workload class in SAP HANA. That's where basically you are giving certain processes and certain power to certain processes, and you are taking processes power from some other processes to run. So we implemented, so it used to take 3 full days, not working hours, 3 full days to close the process. After U7i, we removed that contention. We are not using workload classes. We are gaining efficiency, and we are able to close that whole end-to-end process in less than 24 hours. So you can see that how much man hours has been saved. A lot of reruns were avoided because of the failed jobs or anything related to the resource contention and things like that. So no more reruns. And we were able to gain this efficiency and reduce the time in less than 24 hours. So it's a huge, huge win to have this U7i instances for our platform. At last, what I'm going to share over here, it's basically we started from our on-premise systems, migrated to AWS using our enterprise support AWS ProServe to overcome a problem one, which was a scalability issue, and faster deployment issues and resilience. From 2023 to 2024, we had another problem with a CPU contention, which was basically we could scale from memory perspective, not from CPU perspective. So that was resolved using a U7i instance. That is, those are the things that we did from the database perspective. What we did from the SAP application perspective, it was basically we were running on R5 instances, then we saw an R6i instances. When we migrated that, we were able to gain around 10 to 15% efficiencies from the application standpoint. What we are doing right now, we are evaluating, as a company, we are evaluating that how can we migrate to R8i instance. The current evaluation that we are looking at the numbers right now, it's first of all, it has double the SAPs. If anybody is familiar with SAPs, that's basically SAP's runtime measurement for how you are actually running your process and things like that. So instead of 18,000 SAPs, R8i has 38,000 SAPs. So you are getting more than double SAPs. So we are expecting increase of efficiency and performance by at least 50%, which will allow us to reduce our EC2 cost by around 20%. That's what we are expecting. And that's what we wanted to see. Okay? And that's the story that I came here to tell you, that what we have achieved from on-premise to AWS to U7i instance. Thank you to AWS Enterprise Support Engineering team, along with the Intel team, who were able to help us bring us the new Xeon processors, and hopefully we will able to actually implement the R8i, and next year I will actually share the what we are gaining from the R8i as well. All right. Thank you.
Like I said, big, beautiful, miraculous journey right there. And it's been a tremendous partnership with AWS and Toyota. But we also have various partnerships with you. So again, 3 big points: the power of performance, the power of partnerships. Look at this journey. It was Intel, AWS, SAP, Toyota Motors, working together to make this happen. So the next time you get into your Toyota, you know already there's so many people behind the scenes that are getting you access to the cars that you really love. So I'm going to make a pitch for Toyota. Also, when we do launch the R8i experience, we need the Toyota Motor Car here. That's what we're going to do. That's Ashish's big goal. Regardless of that, it's really about the partnerships, it's about performance, and it's the possibility. Never before have we seen this partnership with AWS actually being able to be as agile as Ashish and Neil mentioned. You guys come back to Intel and AWS and say, hey guys, we need more storage, we need more core count, we need higher frequency, and the EC2 team and our engineering teams get together and custom purpose build these instances for you. We'll land them into regions that you need. We'll land them to make sure that you're getting the performance that you need as you migrate to AWS. So my last parting thoughts. Purpose-built instances, best-in-class experience for you. Second, have us along with you guys in the journey as you accelerate and transform, migrate, modernize onto cloud. And take advantage of the partnerships that you already have in this room and around this room. If you would like to learn a little bit more about how you can work with us, about the programs that we have along with Intel and AWS for your SAP RISE++ workloads, come and have a conversation with us. Team Amazon is available at reInvent all week, even though it already feels like it's a week. Come visit us at the Intel booth. These are the 2 QR codes, which would be really great for you guys to attend. We have an SAP-focused roundtable later on today. It's at 5:30 at the Bellini Room 2101, so please come and join us there. We're going to have partners coming in with different competencies for various SAP platforms to help you with the journey that you want to drive on your SAP workloads on AWS. We've got some great meet and greet opportunities, and have us come join us at the mixers. We've got one tomorrow as well as on Thursday. And then you could contact us. I love that my email ID is right there. You could also find me on LinkedIn. But of course, we've got Team Amazon here. Come visit us at the booth. Come visit us at all of our networking events. And we are really excited for this journey together. Let's do this. Let's drive transformation. And let's make sure we drive value for each and every one of you. Thank you.